Okay, so new Borat movie, Borat Subsequent Moviefilm, 14 years after the first Borat film, Sacha Baron Cohen's creation, returns. So the story is he's been in a labor camp for 14 years after bringing Kazakhstan into disrepute with the first film. Now he's sent back to America by the authorities who are outraged that Trump is befriending dictators but hasn't reached out to Kazakhstan. So he gets sent to America to meet and bribe the president or one of his inner circle, first with a porno monkey, then later with his daughter, or as he refers to his non-male child, who he keeps in a cage and decides to give to one of the people close to the president, as a bribe. So now the film arrived; it's on Amazon Prime. But when we got the preview links, it came with a thing saying, "Please don't reveal the gags and don't reveal, the people that are in the film." Although an awful lot of stuff is in the trailer, and there's been a lot of stuff in the news. So from the trailer that there's a bit when Borat stays with rednecks who believe that Democrats are worse than coronavirus and seem to have some belief in the QAnon conspiracy theory that Democrats are drinking the blood of children. There's a bit in a debutante ball in Georgia where the guests are horrified by Borat and his daughter dancing. There's a bit which has been seen quite a lot when they break into a conservative conference where Mike Pence is speaking and Borat is disguised as Donald Trump and he's got his daughter over his shoulder and he's trying to give his daughter to Mike Pence. All that stuff, I think that that's kind of in the public domain. So it's I said if you're familiar with the Borat thing, you kind of know where this is going. I mean, it should be said that for all the kind of the puerile vulgarity and cringe-inducing stunts, there's a clear agenda behind this. I mean, we recently saw Sacha Baron Cohen in Trial of Chicago 7 playing Abby Hoffman. He did a speech for the Anti-Defamation League. He's been very active in the campaign against social media giants, who fail to address hate speech online. And he's done interviews recently in which he has talked uncharacteristically plainly about saying that the film has a purpose. So he specifically said in an interview, I think it was with the NYT, that he wanted it to be released before Election Day because, quote, "we wanted it to be a reminder to women of who they're voting for or who they're not voting for. If you're a woman and you don't vote against this guy, then know what you're doing for your gender." He also talked about the way in which the world had changed since the first Borat film. So there is a political thing going on there, which is very clear. It also addresses and kind of tries to unveil anti-Semitism and racism and bigotry that's kind of casually at large. However, Sacha Baron Cohen also said, I think in that same interview, my aim here was not to expose racism, anti-Semitism. The aim is to make people laugh, but we revealed the dangerous slide to authoritarianism while we're doing that. So I think that the question is, firstly, the thing about getting it out before the election, will it make any difference? Honestly, I'm not sure that it will, because I don't think that anyone's mind is going to be changed by it. I mean, interestingly enough, there was a thing recently in which Mel Brooks put a little thing on Twitter, which was his first ever political
Yeah, I saw that.
statement on Twitter. You saw it? I
Yeah.
think that actually would have an effect. I don't think this will. Some of the gags land, not all of them do. I mean, a lot of it is very toe curling, which is the stuff that Sacha Baron Cohen does. And there is, however, it's only 90 minutes long, there is some padding. There are some sequences which just seem to be not great stunts. I mean, the big stunts, like the thing about, the Pence conference, not entirely sure what that achieves, and I didn't find it as laugh out loud funny as perhaps some others might have done. Partly because one of the gags is that Borat is now recognizable, and therefore he has to disguise himself. But also there is a feeling that the thing itself is recognizable. There are some sequences in which he gets people to do things which are remarkable in terms of it's kind of like is showing you what is lying underneath the surface, but it's like, for example, there has been a sequence which is discussed in the press a lot recently, featuring Rudy Giuliani. And Rudy Giuliani does not come out of this sequence well at all. I don't want to spoil it any more than that, other than to say that. The only thing I'd say is, like, yeah, I don't know that is something that's going to have a huge political impact in an age in which you have a president who found himself unable to disavow QAnon, who believe that the Democrats are Satanists who drink the blood of babies, who has found it very difficult to absolutely disavow white supremacists, who was actually caught on tape bragging about sexual assault before he won the election in 2016. I'm not sure that in the world of that we're in now, that this has a particular political punch. So I think it does come down to, is it funny? I don't think it's as funny as it should have been, or perhaps could have been. There are some very good moments in it. I think that Maria Bakalova, who plays his daughter, is actually every bit as fearless as Sacha Baron Cohen, and actually she has all the really great scenes in the film. So it's kind of okay. The edge seems to have been taken off the gag, as far as I'm concerned. So it's, but as I said, it reveals some truths about America. But I have to say, if you didn't find those truths already, I don't think you'd be watching the film, and I don't think the film would change your mind.
I was gonna ask you about the Giuliani bit because there was a lot about that in the paper,
Yes.
yesterday, and people were discussing the scene and quite what was going on. So we'll let people see that if they go to the movie. But the general feeling was because he thinks he dealt with it very well, but
Yeah,
it
no,
sounds
he comes out of it terribly badly. But then I have to say, I'm watching the movie as somebody who is absolutely predisposed to thinking he will come out of it. But I mean, I think he comes out of it disastrously. But I'm also aware of the fact that there are people who have done things that I think, well, there we go. How could you? But they have carried on. As I said, we are in a world in which the person who is the president of the United States was caught on tape bragging about sexual assault, and he won the election.